What's going down, people? How you doing? TK coming at you. Just want to hit you guys with the signs of the economic paradigm shift that most people don't care about or are not paying attention to. One is the new Silk Road, the One Belt, One Road initiative from Russia and China, where energy deals are basically signing multiple partnerships with countries where economic stability allows both parties to benefit. Two is the decline of paper monetary value and the continuous devaluation that happens with paper currency. How your purchasing power doesn't go very far when you try to spend paper money. Three would be the increase in cryptocurrency market capitalization. The fact that Bitcoin keeps going up means that safe haven money is looking for an outlet. It means that people are seeking alternative forms of investments, and they realize that they have to do something before the Titanic sinks. All of these things are culminating in what a lot of people list as 2018 being a catalyst to change. This geopolitical change that's taking place within the superpowers of government. The emperor has no clothes. People are starting to see that. And the shift of power right now is to see who sits at the head of the table. So what does all that mean? I mean, realistically, it just means that a lot of people aren't prepared, and a lot of people will be victimized by these changes because they're not paying attention. So I try to make videos that point out the differences in our atmosphere. You know, 21st century is the age of information. Within a political, well, I should say within a, not political, but in a atmospheric standpoint, we are looking at the planet shifting, as we move through different time and space. Our planet's moving into the position where we are changing into a different dimension. Our three-dimensional plane of existing is changing to a four-dimensional existence. As that happens, consciousness begins to awake. People begin to, or I should say certain people who are looking for information begin to understand that information to a deeper level. So there are a lot of things that are taking place where you really should focus on positioning yourself to better fare in this new existence. Sadly, the relegated position that humans are pushed into has us on this low vibrational rate where slavery is pretty much the end result. But you can do things, you could make some individual projections to change your reality so that you're better prepared, you're better able to live amongst this new environment or within this new environment. And that's the only thing I'm suggesting in this video, is that you open your eyes to what's going on and make some decisions that will basically be fruitful. If you acquire gold, silver, Bitcoin, you spend money on things that make money, you actually pay attention to some of the things I pointed out. Do some research on your own. Open your ears, your eyes, your mind. Elevate your consciousness. These are things that you can do. So every time I make a video, it's just a random guy making some random suggestions. But it's a twofold method where it helps me to stay on track. And it's also a reach out to people in hope that somebody's paying attention, somebody listens, and somebody buys gold, Bitcoin, and silver. Because as we find ourselves falling deeper and deeper into a Venezuela, what's going to happen is, if you're not prepared with some sort of alternate means to pay for your life, you're going to really be in a bad way. There are people in Venezuela that are not prepared or wasn't prepared, and they're eating out of trash cans, because they don't have access to paper money. They don't have any alternative forms of payment, and they're hurting because the bolivar in Venezuela is not worth anything. Hyperinflation has hit the economy, and the paper money in Venezuela doesn't spend very far. But that's the end result of reckless government spending, greed, mismanagement, and that's not limited to the Venezuela economy, or that's not limited to their paper currency. So the idea is to have more than one credit card in case one declines. That's the overall summarization of having gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Because if you need to dip into alternate forms of asset, you can. At any given time in the future, you can liquidate your gold, your silver, or your Bitcoin and still be able to participate in this pay-to-live society. I think right now, air is the only thing we don't have to pay for. Everything else, you got to have some form of currency, some form of money. And for some reason, the Matrix programs you to only see paper as money, when paper is the lowest and worst form of money on the planet. Gold, silver, and Bitcoin actually appreciate in value the longer you hold it, so it makes monetary sense to hold something appreciating as opposed to saving in something depreciating. I said this in a lot of different videos. I encourage you guys to look up or Google or pick up a book, learn about the Dodd-Frank Act within fractional reserve banking, where the banking laws have basically changed so that savers are losers. People who save money in cash essentially are unsecured creditors to the bank. And when you put your money in the bank through fractional reserve lending, that money is no longer yours. The bank is only obligated to keep sometimes zero reserves or sometimes 10% reserves. All the rest of that money is given to actual producers in the economy, investors, business owners, entrepreneurs. Your money is loaned out to other institutional banks so that they can leverage it sometimes 30 times. Anywhere between 10 and 30 times your money is leveraged against you as a creditor. So it doesn't help you within fractional reserve banking to save in cash. Savers are losers in the 21st century because how the system is designed, and because with deflation, or I should say with devaluating paper, you never win. You can't keep up with the cost of living. You can't keep up with the overprinting. You can't keep up with the value of the dollar continuously declining in relation to how much paper money you actually make on your job. So only thing I'm encouraging people to do is to wake up, take the red pill, actually do something financially smart so that you can create a different future that's not as limited as what they want you to be. Who are they? They are the policymakers. They are the decision makers. They are the people who don't have a job, people who have their money get a job and essentially live off the residual income that comes in from investments, from owning businesses, from owning higher forms of assets. So the only thing I'm suggesting to you is that you start to do the same thing they constantly do. And if you make those type of decisions, you'll get those type of results.